great and beautiful morning, afternoon, and evening to you, wherever you are joining me at this moment. I say welcome to 167 edition of Investdata Trading Academy live with Ambrose. Yes, I will tell you that the global market, as we speak now, has pulled back seriously on the news of another rate hike. And you remember I've said in this class several that what you need to do when you are investing that instead of you trading the news, you trade the chart. You look at what the attitude of people or the investors in the market or whoever they are that are also in that commodity or that stock, how are they performing, how are they reacting to this news. And you can see what happened yesterday, or you saw what happened yesterday that immediately this news came, we saw market moving up. But we went towards the end of the briefing, you see the market in matured market gave in for the news. For me, it is now for you to read what the attitude in this candlesticks of each market. But as we speak now, because of the news of another attack by Fed, which I said last time that it is this, they are the one that said the word the pace. Now that Fed have said we have done it again. Before then, we have seen that the EU central bank, which is the EU that is the European Central Bank, have done the same thing. But today, all eyes are also on the Bank of England also hiking rate, and that also all eyes that this also might also put the market in that environment also into a jeopardy situation or into a lower low. Than also the currency, the sterling pound also might also shake for another hike of about 75%, 75 basic points again should come from that central bank at this hour or today. That thing that all eyes and what are on this meeting that is also going on as to speak. And also don't forget that the the weak economic data that are also emerging from the second largest economy also is raising a kind of tension as regard to the global recession fear that is also looming here and there. And now that the central banks of the world so far have meet this period has also hiked their rate, it seems that they are not heeding to the advice of the World Bank or IMF that might likely pull this the world economy to a recession, a kind of a grooming economy, and that also suggests that investors or traders in the market also have to look for another new strategy to stay ahead of all this. Because I tell you, what is important to every investor that you are buying assets at a price and you want to see that price move. That is different. Whatever news that comes to the market, the news of earnings, the news of economy, all that comes is to how will it impact on the price of or the stock we are holding, because it is that price that determines whether you are selling at a loss or what at a profit. That means as a trader, like I always say that you should not look at the news, you look at what the price. That means whatever that move no prices and this means that as a trader or investor, you're looking at what price, because you want to pull out your profit from the market regularly or not. You're not going to pull out the news. It is the price of stock you invested that will tell you whether you are to sell to move out your profit if the price are moved in your favor, or if the price are moved also in your opposite of your favor. You can see what it says. That means as a trader or investor, tells you that the common sense that only price pays. If only price pays, that means all eyes will be on the price, not news or how much we love the stock or what or the commodity or the instrument you are trading. It's not. It is the movement of the price, not how much you love the company or the brand name or the managers. No, it's when this price moves that you say you have made money. If that is the situation, that means if the price does not move in your favor, what means that means it's the time for it also to lose money at that particular time. That's why you must understand what the sentiment is saying. That's why I say every investor in this class that also when we are buying a stock, before you take position, don't forget to set what your stop loss, because when the market go against you or the news that will drive that commodity or that assets you have, which is the price, is a negative, you must go down. That's why all eyes will be what on the instrument that study the price movement of where you have invested your money. News or no news, it is that price that will determine whether you are in profit or not. And also, as a trader, you should not trade or invest with fear. It is those that have no investment objective or goal that also want to invest with fear. But for those that understand the market, no, you don't invest with fear, but you invest with knowledge. That's why you are in this class, gathering skill, understand how the market operates, and also have experience in your bet. Like remember the famous investor in the market today. With the overweight, I always say that you have to be what to be fearful when others are what say you have to be fearful when others are greed, and also be greed when others are fearful. It's just a contrarian investing strategy that when a market is at the peak of the world, at the bull, what you take your profit. When it's at the peak of the bear where others are running, that is where you should position. If you understand this principle to how to invest, that means at every extreme of the market, you should know exactly what to do as a trader or investor. Now that we're seeing that the market globally is on a pullback today, but to reflect the impact of what the rate hike, what does it suggest to you? You as a trader or investor, it's not going to just running out of the market, but it suggests that we look at what your stop loss in those positions because this is what will affect the indices that are there. But we look at individual stock how is it affecting the sector where you are playing or in the stock you are playing? If not much, then you need to panic because others are panicking. And that's why I say those that trade market without plan, they are the ones that see any information, they be jumping up and down. But those that understand the market and also know the kind of tools you should use also to to look at to see if there is this trend in that momentum or that trend where you are. It's very, very key at any market condition. You need to know that because every eyes was that Fed will do between 50 to 75 basic point, which also they repeated that 35 basic point. This tells you that already they are also ready to show that the economy is still strong. That's what I mean, because if they notice that there's a weak labor report, they would have stood down. But because the last Q3 GDP that came, we saw a slight growth, and also in their labor report, you can see, and that's why other central banks are going to look at in this period. That means for us that as a banking that has the this November for the last MPC in Nigeria, what are we thinking? Are we expecting them to hike rate or not? For me, with the trend we're seeing, it's possible that CBN can make the rate to become what 16 instead of 15.5. They can just say let's add 50 to it to become a 16 basic point for what for the NPR. That means you need to understand all this and if it increase rate again, what's going to do? You're going to put pressure what on the stock market anywhere in the world when there's high interest rate. The total flow of funds from the equity space to world to where there's less risk and there's also but because the inflation is also on the rise. These are what is threatening also the fixed income market that most people are not moving around, and those that are design investors are staying put in some equity that have good dividend yield because rushing toward to a fixed income market and already on the strength of inflation, you are already on a negative return. What are you going to do? Because at the end of the day, if the market rebound and you make good return, what will you be saying that you are in fixed income where the money you invested have lost value? For that, these are the things that investors all over the world are facing to contemplate with what to do because are you buying and holding? Are you trading? Are you looking at dividend income? Are you playing defensive? These are the things that investors should also be thinking at this time. You are planning retirement. What are you planning retirement with? Is it for those stocks that they have no direction? You need to look at because in this market there must be what the area you are looking at. Whether you are on the side of the market or you are against the market. That's why technical trading indicators are very, very good because these indicators they work. Like why I say they work is that they guide you. They tell you the strength and where everyone is looking at. If price movement is what pays, and this is what we are looking at on the chart. We're not looking at the story, we're looking at what attitude of the people that the chart is giving to you. And those indicators we are seeing in the chart also is based on what on of the price, so that they can also relate what the behavior, the volume, and the price, and that is why we are asking because it is those that follow the smart money that also see what is happening, and also what is happening between what the price and what and the volume that tells you what. That's why I say trading is all about what demand and supply, and demand and supply become what price and volume. When there's high demand, what you see, when there's no demand, there's what also when there's no liquidity, and this is what drive for demand. These are the things we should also have in mind that whatever you are trading, you must understand how to use some indicators. You must not put all the crowd your chart with indicators, but you must have good what indicators that guys you to take what informed decision. And also there are some technical tools that also help you to know that this is where the general people in the market are likely to react. There are some indicators like like 50 days moving average, which many traders use. When everybody is looking at it, yeah, that's what that actually it lacks. But when people see that, but if you are using exponential, that will give you wait for the last price. But these are the things you look at when you are looking at all these tools and other indicators. It will guide you exactly what to do, not just using the indicators wrongly and you are complaining. There are many people that I told you earlier in this class that if you are following technical, the way you are taught, 10 years ago, 50 years ago, no, in the last 3 to 5 years, we have seen that things that change. That means you need to also evolve and move forward to know that you must change the way you interpret your chart, so that at the end of the day, you will be in a better place to take advantage of attitude of people in the market. That's why, like I said yesterday, that if you miss the video on the secret of catching the high and low in the market at any market cycle, you need to get that video. I tell you, that video will give, because it teach you about momentum, difference between momentum and what and price and volume, so that you know exactly when to hold your position and when not to panic. Because many people panic out of their position because of what they don't use tools to guide them on what to do. Like what the simple one we use in this class, like the T line. If you want to learn how to use T line again and other indicators, I will tell you, like other indicators I always share again, like money flow. And if you understand how to use them, I will tell you, you will not be panicking on that, because it will guide you exactly what is happening in the market. And once you're able to get that, that is why you are in the market, because you want to take this one at the right time and be at the good side of the market, not at the bad side of the market, so that you can make profit at the end of the day. Also, you can see a sharp price movement either or. You know to ask, why did it move forward? What was responsible? Is it the volume, or it also went up either on 20 days moving average, 50 days moving average, 200 moving average? Once market touch there, either on the upside or on the downside, it's also going to give a lot of information to the general market. If you understand how to use all these critical things to know exactly what they are saying in the market, not just say, are you 20 days moving average? These are what other people want. You as a trader, you must kind of have a formulate your own strategy with all these indicators and the price action to know exactly what to do. Like we in Investdata, we don't play with T line and other indicators like momentum, price structure and all those stuff to know exactly what to do, because this are telling you what the attitude of what investors in the market are. And if you want to really take advantage of trading continuous opportunity in the market and at the right time, you must listen and know also to hold cash. Like for example, that it is not compulsory that you must trade at all time in the market. No. That's why I said it like that there are some people also in our group that they only trade for any season. They don't trade any other season, but it's anything that they position ahead of any season. When it comes, they make money, they go out again, they come back to another any season. No, that means you understand where there will be momentum in the market, where there will be what high demand, where there will be surprises and disappointment, where there will be also be improved liquidity. That's why that there's a low liquidity in the market. Now you can see that there are some stocks most of their results they rally for 2-3 days mass, and you can see that. But then where there's what just take out where there's liquidity in the market. Some stocks that rally in a bear market, in a situation where there is a low liquidity, if there's liquidity in the market, that will make like 1 week no rally. And imagine that if there's liquidity in the market and the stock rally 1 week, 10% for 1 week. That's more. That's 50% in a week. That's why you need to plan your position and know when to enter the market at the right time. Once it is done, you are good to go at any time. This is how to work. You should trade the market, because you need it very, very well. It is very, very important for every one of us to know exactly what we are doing in the market, so that we can stay ahead of the market. Like I tell you that you don't need to follow the bandwagon in the market. All you need to do, you must know when to work, proper market timing. Also know that news, I tell you that you must know that news will reflect on what on your chart, time your market, and then of course most retail investors, because of lack of this proper market timing, they enter the market at the wrong time, and for that they get their finger burned. And that's why I said, if you're in this class or anywhere you hear me, get that video. It will help you so that you will not be rushing out to the market at the right time and not coming onto the market at the wrong time. There are people that the time is supposed to be in the market that they are running now, because they don't know what have changed in the market, where the market is going. You need to. That is why you are in this class, so that you understand how to use all these indicators we explain here and there. That when you go back, and also you have tools to use. And most like that, most of the traders in the market again, as I think, they don't have tools. They want to just keep acting on what on ESA and all that. You need to educate yourself to a level that you are taking decision. I know why you are taking that decision. That is how to make you work a professional and also a consistent trader that can know that fund is coming, and we are having more winners than more losing position. These are the things we should do in the market at this point. Yes, before we go into looking at the life market, I've said earlier that both US market all are in red, all indicate all the indices. Also in Europe market, here in Nigeria, like I've said, our market is slightly in red this morning. Yesterday market during the time of our class, market was seeing red, but rebounded at the towards the end of the trading yesterday as a result of what demand for what the Dangote cement. Don't forget that Dangote in their last result they released, they notified the market also that they are seeking approval for what from the regulators for another buyback for 2022. When it comes around December, we're already in November. People are taking advantage of the pullback they saw yesterday to position ahead of that activities or that event that will come later in the year. But for now, oil price as we speak is also oscillating, but still trading above above $95. Like yesterday, was trading at 95.27, but at this hour it's doing 95.67. I mean, it's up marginally today. Says that this also the oscillation in oil price has a lot of another hike again in rate or going to oscillate. And don't forget that this fear of recession will also dampen of the demand, fear of demand for what for crude because of what it is when you have money that can if you don't have money you buy less. And now that interest rates also has died, cost of fund around the globe is also has increased, and that also put a kind of some pressure on what on liquidity in the system. That means this is what you need to have at the back of your mind so that you can also flow in the direction where the market is going. Always look at your chart to see where the fund is flowing. That's why you must know how to use your money flow, look at your momentum and your price action. Yes, let's go to the earnings that we're still looking at. But from our observation, since the any season is almost concluded, we look at different sector and we've seen that the service sector in this last quarter we have seen improvement in most of their results. Despite some that the last 3 months are not too attractive, but because of the 9 months results, we'll see a little improvement. Which this last quarter of the year was also expected to be have increased activities. That's why I believe that between now and end of the year, you see that consumption, everything will also increase. That's why there's no liquidity in the much and the people protest what is not. But demand for goods or services will improve because of the festive period and end of the year. Seasonality. These are what we expect was going to play out also in the market as we speak. This also reflects on the company's performance as they also need to benefit from this end of the year seasonality that comes. But what we want to look at, the service sector that we started yesterday, we look at the transport related business, especially in the air, in the air related business. What we talk about, you investing in that sector, that if you look at the logistics aspect, not going to work to look at the operational aspect where you see, people are getting, the planes and also fuel and all those stuff with this high cost. We have to be very careful. And also, I've said yesterday that most of the companies that venture into that aspect of business of career, moving from here to there, for flying and all, I've seen that most of them run down because of what high cost and also government policy here and there. But if you look at also the other sector we're looking at the hospitality sector, and I saw that the number that came from that sector really there was improvement, and that is that COVID-19 era they had it kind of a bad time for them because people were not traveling, and also most of the lockdown for that affected that industry. But in this result we are seeing for Q3 that came for 2022, we saw a breakout from that angle that sector, and also it reflected also in some of what the logistics were today that the situation between that COVID-19 and now that all like all chains are loose or doors are open for people to go out, despite that the high cost also to resisting people movement. But we are seeing that this sector has improved. And don't forget here also back down here because of our pre-election year, we saw a lot of activities during the primaries of different political party. See the spending all roadly to different either the state headquarters for what for primaries or Abuja for presidential. All this happen, and that also a way of what or this sector is also getting a lot of things that really impacted their performance. We want to look at the numbers of those companies in that sector and which and who are also to take advantage of the positive sentiment for that industry in terms of converting this to what to real business, making money from it. And also from the result we have seen for this company, we saw that the finance income of these companies were not too affected. So positive finance income for them. Why the cost of finance cost also remain relatively flat for them. Yes, despite the cost of diesel has increased and the cost of other things they use, but because of their nature of their business, they are not like compared to what is happening in the manufacturing sector. These people, yes, they can know how to keep their hotel running with solar and all those stuff. You can see that diversifying of their source of energy is also reflected in the numbers here. It's also a boost. If you look at the number we're going to look at, yes, some of them are looking too good, while some are still not too attractive. Tell you that in every sector there will also be leader, and you also want to go to identify the leader in that sector. This is how to invest at any time. Don't just because others are investing. That's why your goal should also guide you as investor or trader to know exactly what to do at any given time. It's very, very important. Yes, I want to start with the result that came from Capital Hotel. That's why I say we're looking at the hospitality sector now. Capital Hotel, tell that this number is not looking bad at all. This is an improvement from what they did in previous year 2021, and this say that they are still struggling. And don't forget that so this Capital Hotel, there was a time we saw that Mobi also is trying to have also taken some major shareholding position in this hotel. We expect all this result to turn around the hotel business. If that means where you see Capital Hotel, you might see all these oil company also. There's a place of there's a way that all these have a work playing out on this investment and companies. Here for Capital Hotel, the turnover or the gross or the revenue moved from 2.35 billion to 4.71 billion, which is about almost 100% up, 100.something% up, which is good. And also, if you look at the bottom line, which is the PAT, yes, after controlling the cost, which I mentioned that some cost and other stuff, but we can see that the cost is still there relatively, but we are seeing improvement in their cost compared to the previous year. If you look at the profit after tax, it moved from a negative position of 83.98 million to 187.31 million, representing about more than 300 and 300 and this good 3-digit growth, 323.0% up, which is good. Moving down from a negative position, you know what it is. From a negative position, on swap out to enter a positive of 187.1.31, which is good. EPS moved in that direction from a negative 5 kobo to 12 kobo. Yes, if you look at the price is selling and you can focus on this strength of this earning per share for third quarter, that you can see at the end of the day you can see either 16 kobo or 18 kobo. If that comes, dividend of 10 kobo is, but I know that 10 kobo is even poor compared to what to the price is selling, but relatively because the response coming and the share interest is very small, the price also does not follow more because of volume there. These are the things that those that want to play the classical, but only that if you're playing transactional, we are not expecting much dividend from this company for depends on your investment objective. I would say that. But if you look at the company, profit margin move from a negative 3 point, which to 4.01 for what for money. 4.9 is still very very poor. But you tell you that where this company is coming from, that's why we are seeing that a negative of 3.4 to a positive of 1. But for me, the profit margin is still not attractive. But what you look at, like I said, is the operating cash flow of this company. I'll tell you the operating cash flow for the period improved to seriously to about 11.38 billion from a negative position about 279.2 million. You can see from negative, this also a sign that where they are coming from and where they are going. That's why I say you must look at the company world cash flow to know if they will sustain their world, their earnings. But from the cash flow of this company we're seeing now, I will tell you that the Capital Hotel is going somewhere on that cash flow. If it continues, which cash flow is support your earnings. If earnings and cash flow are moving in this direction, it's a sign of what sustainability. But if they are moving in opposite direction, then that the earnings we are seeing might not last for too long. Yes, want to quickly look at Ikeja Hotel. Ikeja Hotel was a departure of what we saw in Transcorp Hotel and Capital. We're going to Transport later. Ikeja Hotel was seeing a number that is, for me, this is what we call abysmal in terms of performance. This is a poor performance that yes, it might also kind of hook, kind of all like I see hook, or do that are invested in this company will be trapped there because of for this performance. So that the top line and the bottom line also decline, and the bottom line decline was very huge, while that of the top line was just kind of marginal. The top line, which is the revenue, dropped from 6.6 billion to 6.2 billion, about 7% down. But they lost after tax deepened for that period. This loss after tax was from a negative 195.3 million to a negative 246.7.6 million. This is about 200 percent negative, going deeper in negative. But that says that this company is still struggling, and that will also be a problem. The loss after tax also increased from 9 kobo to what 0. To 9 kobo to 12 kobo in this period. For me, you have to be very careful also. And if you look at the operating cash flow, I'll tell you it's a reflection of what is happening. There's a sharp decline of operating cash flow to what to 960 million from 1.4 billion in 2021. You can see what it means. When you see that this is not contributing, you should know that it's a sign that something is not working. if the company operating cash flow can drop from 1.4 billion in 2021 to around 960.7 million this time, says that yes, all is not well. But finally, we want to look at the leader in the industry in price and also in performance. If you look at the result that came from Transport Hotel, these are the owners of Transport Hilton Hotel in Abuja. Now you can see that the performance for me is also impressive, and suppose we might see a better dividend, but the earnings for me is also still low because the price is selling about almost 6 naira 20 kobo, and earnings I'm saying that there's no reason good. That is very poor. Also, the number of share issue also will be responsible for this. Also, that the the company revenue or the hotel revenue moved from 14.5 billion to 22.65 billion, representing about 56% up. Also in that direction, also that profit after tax also moved from 742.02 million to 2.27 billion. This which from 742 million to 2.27 billion, about 200 and something up in one important line. Also, the APS represented it from 7 kobo in previous year to what to 23 kobo, as we see in the figure. That tells you that yes, but if we cannot do a forecast from third quarter to this period, we will not expect to see more than 35 kobo max from this company if they maintain this good. But don't forget that this also the election period is still on, presidential activities here and there, campaign here and there, the campaign organization meeting here. We expect that this year at the first quarter of 2023 will also be kind of remain a favorable period for this sector if all things being equal. You can see that from here you can forecast around 30, 35, and also expect the dividend around 25, 20, 20 to 25 kobo from the company, depending on their policy. But also, if you look at the profit margin, there's improvement from 5.1% to 10.02%. But for me, it's a good one for the stock. But the EPS for me is relatively low compared to the price it's selling at in the market. But operating cash flow is still positive, very, very positive for Transcorp. It moved from 1.7 billion to about 6.9 billion in 2020 this year. It's a good one from 1.7 billion in 2021. For me, this is a good cash flow for operating cash flow. It's very, very important that you must relate the earnings and what the cash flow to know if that earnings is sustainable going into the future. Yes, this is how we'll stop the fundamental analysis. We want to quickly look at what is happening in the market as we speak. I told you earlier that the market we're in red at the open of our class. But we want to look at what is happening, look at also the chart to tell us exactly what has happened after we have seen a kind of a sharp stemming rebound on from yesterday activities. But this morning that trend is not sustained, and that also reflected in the global economy, our market also, as you can see. But let's look at our market as we speak now. We are seeing that the market is in red already. The market is doing 44,227.70 point. This that is the Osher index as we speak. Why the index is down by 55.32 point, meaning about 0.1% down in red. And if you look at the market rate remain also negative. I think 8 losers against what? Against 5 gainers. 8 losers against 5 gainers. Market is relatively dull this morning, but we're seeing that the losers are more than the gainers by 3 or more than 3. We can see that 8 losers against the what? Against 5. The top loser in this today is Prestige Assurance, followed by Sooner Assurance, also followed by Cabaton is there. You can see the multiverse are not having the profit taking, and you can see FBN holding. These are the top. Also, you can see that category. You can also see Geregu in that chart. These are the losers as we speak now. But if you turn also to the gaining side of the market, well, you can see that Transnation Wide Express is leading there, followed by by Jahiz Bank, you can see Charms and UBA and Access Corp. These are the 5 gainers as we speak now in the market. You can see the market is a bit dull this hour, but we want to look at the stocks that are in this. So look at what is happening in Jahiz Bank after we have seen an upgraded outlook for Jahiz Bank. You can see that at the gainer start. Want to chart Jahiz Bank? Look at Jahiz Bank. Look at UBA trying to rebound after touching a low of almost no, 675 yesterday. Jahis Bank, look at the UBA Access Corp. Then also look at the ABN holding this chart to see what is happening in this stock this hour. These are the stock. Yes, you can see this blue line, this tiny blue line, this is the 8 days exposure. But if you look at what the market is doing now, our index, Osha index has almost tested the T line now. So a confirmation like a breakout will give us a strong buy signal that we can also jump into it. And this is what we want to look at today. You can see where it is now. Once there's a breakout, and I said earlier that as many market players are busy digesting the Q3 number. When they start taking position, in trying to move from one sector to the other, when they just to the other, that will change the face of the market. But this includes that market is close to what the T line. A breakout will tell you that another new rally is about to start. Also, if you look at the money flow as we speak today, money flow is so flat here around around 32, but still below the 50. But if you look at MACD is telling us already that there's a sign that that the bull is around the corner. I can see that MACD is becoming bullish. You can look at this, histogram here. This market histogram here. You can see that we are seeing that market is always following. And once the other indicator confirm it, and also a breakout of this T line, that is a good sign to see. But what I'm saying in MACD is also a good sign for me. Let's look at the 1 hour chart for this market index. On 1 hour chart, you can see that market is still trading above the T line. So what happened yesterday because of the gain in there. But that's why the missed sentiment or missed market metrics, you can see that the market is trading above the T line. And you can see it here that MACD is already positive here, on a bull trend. You can see that it's on a bull trend position now. It's a bullish MACD. You can see, but money flow is looking at why on the day chart it's also a side trending in terms of money flow. But now that money flow on a 1 hour chart and the day chart is really almost the same thing. It tells that liquidity in the market is relatively low. That's why you are seeing this that, and even at 1 hour and the day chart, you can see that almost the same thing in money flow. It tells you that liquidity in the market is still very, that's why we are not seeing much volume. That's why that the volatility yesterday was above average volume, but still the volume is not still attractive. It's still very relatively low to show that institutional investors are yet to come back to this market as we speak. Yet, like I said, we are looking at only just few stocks. Let's look at this 4 few stocks for our time. Because our time is fast spent. Let's look at UBA, try to rebound. Let's look at UBA price to speak now. United Bank of Africa. Let's look at what is happening there. Yes, on the 1 hour chart, you can see a strong 1 hour chart after pulling back or try to rebound here. You can see that in the last 1 hour, but yet to cover up this candlestick we are seeing here. Was able to cover it up, that should be a good sign. But the money flow here is still good and encouraging side, trend around 71. Why MACD is still not bullish yet, but always there's a sign that the histogram is pointing to MACD becoming bullish very soon. As to speak, it's still bearish on the 1 hour chart for UBA. But we go to a day chart for UBA. I see that UBA is trading slightly below what the T line as we speak. As yesterday that the stock touched as low as 695 to go. I went this morning trying to come up, but still forming a resistance candlestick, but still on a bearish move. Money flow try to look up very marginally here. And you can see that MACD is also confirming that the stock is coming with in terms of what momentum for UBA on the day chart. Let's quickly look at the FBN holding. FBN holding. Look at what is happening there. This is a company that was bank that posted a good Q3 number. Like I said, I think that's the only bank that put their bottom line with a 3-digit number. Let's watch what's happening there. This is a day chart for the stock. Yes, it tested below it, was still above the T line. You can see that it has been above the T line. Here, you can see it from here on a day chart. Money flow is still very strong. Looking up around 80. For me, it's a very strong one, and MACD is positive for the stock on a day chart. Good for the stock. You can see that this stock can show strength. Goes below the MACD, T line, and pass. You can see when it comes to below the T line, don't stay, comes up. Here now, it was up the T line up to all this point. Continue before it came down here. but now you can see that it has remained above the T line, or T line, touches it. T line has become support level for the stock. It's a sign of strength for what for FBN holding. But if you come here and look at here, you can see that it's still going up and down, up. But as we speak now, the stock is there and they are really above the T line, mostly to almost 10 naira this time, 9 naira 90 kobo. For me, this stock has been stable. And guys, a breakout of this level or this level now announced a new trend again after it had touched around 13 or 1280 about a year ago. But if you look at other indicators on the chart, they are positive for the stock for at least are trending, and you can see that this one is also confirming what a bullish trend after the mark, even when there was a divergence between here, here, but still remain up because this momentum is still strong. And now it's also confirming another momentum coming back again. For me, it's a good one for those ones that are in this stock. Don't need to panic out. Who, yes, for those that are income investors, you might not get much dividend from them. But for those that enter for capital return, you might see. But for income investor, I don't see how CPA will approve is coming to pay 1 naira, even when we have seen no improvement in their earnings. I think similar to also work before they can allow them to pay. That means we're expecting about 50 people or 55 people max from this company. That will also not support the banking, the holding company at the price of almost 10 naira. And you need to balance while you're at the market and who stock should meet your goal. Then look at the Jahis Bank, as I've said earlier, what is happening in Jahis Bank. We saw recent report on Jahis Bank being upgraded to positive outlook for the bank. It's also good. It's a plus for the bank. And also what is happening in Fidelity. Among the bank, the only bank that is making higher new high in the market. Also, if you look at Jais Bank on a day chart, you can see after screen trading above the T line, sharp one, good one. Money flow is around the 70, above the 50. You can see it here. For me, it's a good one for the stock. Even this is a 1 hour chart, but still good. And still money flow around 72. And I see that market is also bullish on what on the 1 hour chart. Quickly go to the day chart to look at what is happening on the chart. On the day chart, the stock is still very, very strong above the T line. Money flow above 50 to reach 62. These are good things, and MACD is positive. It's a fine for those who are in this stock for short term and then long term for your position, and they are consistent in their dividend payment. That's why it's still bookable, but their consistency is very, very important. The last but not the least, let's look at what is happening in Access Corp. Let's look at what is happening in Access Corp for call it a day. Here's the last one looking at today. That is, yes, we are seeing that Access Corp on a day chart, you can see that the stock will see a strong momentum entering the stock. Same volume, but this volume is like more of a sell volume because we are seeing a red position, but still on the top of the T line. After we have crossed the T line recently, let's keep our finger crossed and watch. And don't forget that this bank has kind of a standard in performance in that industry. To speak now, the only bank that is heading to trillion in turnover very soon, in gross earnings very soon. That will be very interesting, and that will change the face of what of the bank. You can see our money flow is entering into the stock. You can see also where the bullish MACD is also pointing us to that the stock will soon turn and money flow is strong. Despite we are seeing a little pullback here, in the price action, but let's keep our eyes on the momentum indicators that are there. Finally, look at the 1 hour chart of the stock before we call it a day. On 1 hour chart, I'll tell you in the last 1 hour, the stock is still very good. Green, to turn the last bearish mode or candlestick we are seeing here. You can see it here yourself. But I can see that MACD is still bullish and money flow is still very, very strong on the stock. On this note, to say thank you for your time for this class. Look forward to see you tomorrow when the last trade of the week, and also look forward to see you at the Q&A section live by 12 noon on Saturday. Especially for those that want to really take advantage of the financial market reset that's ahead of us, to take advantage of it, because as we said earlier in this class that price is what matters to you, because you are in any investment to make money and you go what you pay price for it. If that investment is not moving up, it's not in your favor. You need to look at those resets that are coming, which sector will it apply to their price to rally, how will it change the face of the market and the economy, everything we're looking at, and how can you take advantage of it, all will be discussed in the coming work, in the coming Invest 2023. And I look forward to see you. I think by tomorrow, I come to my colleagues, so everything will be out for you to see. And the speakers are ready, preparing for you already for the first Saturday in the month of December, so that you can sit down and take advantage, because early to bed, early to wake, when you take position on time ahead of events, usually don't forget that that December was expect to see Santa Claus rally. At the same time, we want to see what end of the quarter and end of the year, and also position for what for new year, and also election is coming closer, and we're also seeing clearly who is going to win and where it's going to swing to. That will be what's going to guide us in all this our preparation. Yes, I'll say thank you and enjoy the rest of your trading day. See you